Amigos siguientes de USALA Radio, estamos aquí de nuevo en su programa Compass. Saluda Fernando Méndez, Dylan de Rosato dirige este programa. Estamos en compañía de Bill Salvatore. Hello, Bill.
Hello, what's going on?
More information that I need from you. You're hard to find.
I'm hard to track down these days.
So that happens because you're a VIP in the Philadelphia sports scene. You are, what is your title exactly for the city?
So for the city, I'm the Deputy Commissioner of Philadelphia Parks and Rec. So I lead our program division, which is 160 rec centers and playgrounds, 70 swimming pools, 5 ice rinks, 6 adult centers.
Is that all?
3 environmental centers.
I think I would have trouble leading one of those things.
Yeah.
Wow.
350 employees, no big deal.
No wonder you're a busy man.
Yeah.
Hard to track. But so we're more grateful to you for taking time out to visit us.
Yeah.
I always find conversations with you quite interesting and informative about what's going on locally, because I mean, anything else you can read in the columns and papers and internet.
Yeah.
But
I can give you the inside scoop too.
You look at this from inside and say, here we are.
Yeah.
So let's start with the one of the things that I was curious about, how you organized. You started and you still run this nation's competition in Philly for soccer.
Yeah. So the Unity Cup.
Yeah.
This will be our 7th year running it. You know,
how many people began? How many teams?
We started with 32 back in 2016.
Right.
Right before we shut down in 2020, we got up to 52. And then last year and then this year, we're at 48. We're modeling after the World Cup in 26, which I know we'll talk about.
Excellent.
Yeah. It's exciting.
That's right. The World Cup expanded, right?
Yes. So, yeah, and just so you remember, these 48 countries are all immigrant communities in and around Philadelphia. So they're all close to home.
That's terrific. I just hope ICE doesn't come around.
7 years, never had a problem.
No, I mean that's fabulous. I mean the growth of that and the interest in that, and it's a serious competition, right? But I remember there was it Liberia? What team is it that dominated?
So Liberia would dominate it for a while, and then the United States team broke through last year, and the United States team won. Yeah.
Excellent. Look, I've always said for a long time, since soccer began to grow in this country, it began with Pelé. I thought Pelé would break through, but it went up and down. But I've always said this country, now I think in a decade, will produce a real champion, produce a great team that will compete with the best.
Yeah, I think for a while, we did a poor job as a country in growing the game and like working with youth programs. I think you see like the Philadelphia Union Academy, they took the European model. You're seeing more and more of it. I think the pay-to-play model that dominated when I was growing up and, kind of dominated the early 2000s is starting to go away.
Right.
Where it's like, hey, you pay $1,500 and you can be on an elite team, but what are you getting for it? Right now, it's like, hey, you're joining an academy, you're going to school at the academy, you're with your teammates all the time, you're being trained and really, elevating your game. So I think like someone like Christian Pulisic, who's like probably the star player for the United States team, you can start seeing that come through. We may still be another few years away, but
I think so. But there is tremendous the progress. You can trace it in terms of not only the quality of the play, how good these players have become, but also the interest around the country in this game. I remember even like 4 years ago, by accident, I found myself at a soccer game in Portland. And it was like one of the European games.
Yeah.
The people were excited. They were singing in the stands. They were like, I was amazed at that.
Yeah, and it's if you go to a Union game on the right night, you'll get that atmosphere depending on who the opponent is. And I think Saturday nights are easier for people than Wednesday nights or whatever. But you go to other cities. Portland's one of them. You go to Kansas City. You'll really see that kind of European passion coming through.
Yeah. And so but that's growing around the country, and I think I remember the soccer moms. In politics, I was all talking about the soccer moms and such influence, and I kept saying, so when is that going to translate into soccer moms and looking at the professional kids playing, right?
Yeah.
But I think Pulisic is a good example of that, and there are more players, Americans playing in Europe,
Yep.
which is a great experience because that translates into it benefits our soccer because our players get better too.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the way the world is now, it's so global with social media and the internet. If you're a 16-year-old player who's phenomenal, the teams in Europe are going to see you. The teams in South America are going to see you. You're going to be, it's not just, hey, I'm really good in Philadelphia. They're going to start trying to poach you from other parts of the country, other parts of the world.
But also, Bill, there is real money behind all this, right?
A lot of money.
There are two guys from Philly who own a team now in the English league.
Yep. There's a lot of money behind it.
But look at how much money Ronaldo was paid to go play in Saudi Arabia.
It's like
200 and some million.
We call that dumb money. It's like dumb money, right? We can't even comprehend that.
But that's pocket money for the people who own the team.
I know, right? Yeah. If you're like an oil person, or yeah.
But we are from this point of view, somebody pays 200 million or whatever to play a game that you like to play.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The best part of that. Who is Messi? Yeah, Messi is also multimillionaire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All those top stars are. Yeah. Mbappe, all of them.
How do you like the final, the national, the game with the Union against Los Angeles? Was it?
I was on a plane watching it. I was actually on my way to Portland. I was going to a park and rec conference. I was speaking out there, and I was on the plane. I was able to the TV, on the plane. I was able to watch it. I couldn't believe it.
I had a premonition. It was like I said, this is bad news when Gareth Bale came into the game. Because this guy, he did it. He for Real Madrid, was it? Where he played?
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, whatever. But he was playing for Real Madrid, and he was just lethal. Head balls at the last minute, saving the game. Unbelievable.
It was the tale of Philadelphia this year. Just.
And now here
we get there, and everybody, Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, man.
Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, we should have won here when they played here.
Totally agree.
Going to Boston was bad news. It's a shame. Eagles, the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So are the Eagles looking better for this year?
I mean, they've reloaded. I think they're going to be right there again.
Because they were looking for I forgot, a receiver, something.
Yeah.
They have a decent quarterback.
The quarterback's good. The whole offense is good. They put some new players on the defense. I think they'll be right there. Now, whether or not, the year after a Super Bowl is always tough because everybody guns for you. So we'll see if they make it back or not.
Yeah. Always. But how do you explain some dynasties, like New England? They had a long run. With championships.
Yeah, but you know what? They were good for a long time, but they weren't winning it every year.
No. Dallas Cowboys.
Right. Cowboys won 2 out of 3.
Right.
They were good for about 6 or 7 years, but.
So we did one, and then.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes that happens, right?
Had to wait another 20 years.
You look at the Baltimore Ravens; they won it, however many years ago, and they're always good.
Yeah.
But they haven't been back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So the Union is still looking good, right? It's a good team.
I mean,
I saw the game the other day.
They're a little bit down in the standings because of the Open Cup. So I don't know why they do this, but so they played in the Open Cup, but the MLS schedule was still going on. So when they were playing the MLS games, it was like a second-tier roster because all their good players were playing in the Open Cup. Right. I don't know why they don't just pause the MLS season for a couple of weeks, but
right. Well, the Europeans go through that because they have so many cups there.
Yeah.
And like in England, their competition in England, then they go to championship.
You get the Champions League and
Champions League,
and then you have
all
UEFA and all
So,
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they go through that too. And then the players are exhausted too, because it's like play. You know, there's no rest for them.
Oh no.
The risk of injury too is serious.
Yeah.
So, so 48 teams again for the
48. Yeah.
the Unity Cup.
Yeah.
That's a great. You know, I really commend you for that. That's a tremendous effort, and you know, people take it for granted. That takes a lot of organization.
Yeah.
You know, pulling strings here and there. How's the funding for that?
So we don't put any city funding behind it.
No.
It's all sponsorship driven.
Right.
So we got lucky. The World Cup coming here in 26. So they call it the host committee for Philadelphia is our primary sponsor.
Okay.
And then we get some other sponsors like through the union and through, you know, Chickies and Pete's and Pico and things like that.
Chickies and Pete's.
Yeah.
I remember doing a commercial for Telemundo for Chickies and Pete's a long time ago. The World Cup coming now, that's going to be a huge event. I just mentioned to you previously, but New York, New Jersey, they're forming sort of a unified group. I don't know exactly what it's about.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, I guess technically the games are going to be played in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So, but I guess they want to figure out how to have the biggest impact on Northern Jersey and New York.
And New York. Because there'll be a lot of people from New York.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the money is. And the tickets are going to be expensive.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
without a
look
doubt.
how expensive the tickets were for Qatar, on top of the travel costs.
The good news is we're already in the city, so that helps.
Yes, that's good. So, it's the United States, Canada, and Mexico,
yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. So, we're in Canada. Is it Quebec mostly, I guess?
Toronto, Vancouver, and I'm not sure what the third city is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I suppose Mexico City?
Yep.
Is the only city in Mexico? Guadalajara, perhaps? I don't know.
No.
I'm sure it's Mexico City, but...
yeah, Mexico City for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's a second one.
So for the U.S.,
there's like 16 cities, yeah.
Yeah, Philadelphia, Chicago, Los
Boston,
Angeles, Boston,
Los Angeles,
Houston,
yeah. Dallas,
Dallas,
Miami.
and they're all soccer cities. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all cities that have teams that have
Yep.
good audience.
Yeah.
You know, I still think the price of tickets is what's going to keep people away. You know.
Well, you know, it'll be interesting. We won't know for a couple of years, but when they announce the groups, you see what groups or what group is coming to Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. If we end up, you know, if it's a group that was USA, Brazil, you know, and England, not that would happen, but if that happened, right, it'd be three like really popular teams. The ticket price would soar. But if it ends up being like Trinidad, you know, El Salvador and Wales, you know,
yeah, the stadium is going to
I
be...
mean, still the World Cup coming to Philly, but you know, the stadium may not be $1,000 ticket, it may be like a couple $100.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, but still, I think even for minor games, the tickets are not cheap exactly.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. You know.
Yeah, I hope we get at least one of the big teams.
Maybe I'll be even bigger time than that, and I can take you with me.
Thank you. I'll hold you to that.
We do a live broadcast from the link.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you know what? You can't call it the link when the World Cup's here.
No?
It's the Philadelphia World Cup site.
Okay.
No branding.
Mm.
No branding.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So the link won't profit. Well, they will still profit in some way, but
No, they're definitely profiting.
the rich. That's how the rich get richer. All these teams. Yeah, interesting what you say, because it depends what group we get here. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that will be crucial for us to find out. I was looking at the groups before, Qatar, and some of the results from Qatar. So we'll talk about numbers. I'm going to take a brief break here in USALA Media. Les habla Fernando Méndez en Campas, en compañía de Bill Salvatore, hablando sobre deportes. Regresamos en un momento. Pagano's Market and Bar has been serving gourmet Italian foods in Center City for 3 generations. Call Matthew Pagano for all your catering needs, and during these difficult times, please mention Fernando Mendez and receive a nice discount along with free delivery. Pagano's also makes the finest gift boxes in the city for all your holiday needs. Visit paganosmarketandbar.com. Amigos de USALA Media, estamos aquí de nuevo en Compass. Les habla Fernando Méndez, Dylan de Rosato dirige el programa y continuamos en la conversación con Bill Salvatore hablando sobre deportes. ¿Qué más? He's a número uno en deportes as far as I'm concerned.
I appreciate that.
So I was looking at the numbers from Qatar, amazing numbers. Just one of the some of the moments from that World Cup. In Doha, Al Bida Park saw more than 1.8 million fans enjoy the live broadcast of games. So they put those big screens.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Over 1 million visitors traveled to Qatar to watch matches in person. One of them was my friend Dario Belot, who found out Argentina. He's from Argentina.
Yeah.
He found Argentina was going to be the final. So he managed to fly from here to Qatar in time for the game, and he got ticket and everything. It's amazing. If you can afford to do that, it's like
God bless you.
what a thing to do, right? The first FIFA World Cup in the Arab world introduced much of the world to the local culture, and so that's what we hope to do for us.
Yeah.
Here. That's what people have to be aware of. Our city will be like the eyes of the world will be for whatever time the World Cup is here, and also depends on, as you say, on the teams that the attention of the world is drawn to. But I think even for minor games, everybody who's interested in soccer, you want to see, because these people are at the top of the heap.
Right. And it's a good city to be in.
Yeah.
There's a lot to see here. Like you said, the culture is important.
Oh, absolutely.
The history. And it's a big summer, right?
It's a big summer.
250th birthday of the country.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot going on.
That's going to be a lot. So talk a little bit about what is that 250 celebration of, anniversary of?
Of our independence, right? Yeah.
Well, it's the Constitution, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, man, that's going to be.
Yeah, and so we get the World Cup.
Yeah.
We got the Major League Baseball All-Star Game.
Right.
We got the PGA Championship in Marion.
Yeah.
So 3 major sporting events here. We got the big birthday celebration. We'll probably still have Made in America and all the.
26 is our independence. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's every big event that we want to celebrate. That's 250 years of this country.
Right. And what's nice about it, they say the impact isn't just in 26. It will expand into 27 and 28, because once you get on the world stage like that, from a number of different perspectives, and visitors want to come see the city that weren't able to get here for the World Cup or for the All-Star Game or for the celebration. We
also survived COVID in so many ways, because unfortunately for the restaurant industry that was doing so well, right?
Yeah.
Before COVID hit, it suffered. The tourist just it was impossible to sustain a tourist industry. You cannot travel,
right?
Or you have to travel with restrictions. So we're lucky that all this has,
it's behind us.
It's behind us, and now I think all restrictions have been lifted. I mean, I even went to the hospital recently, and in the hospital it was like, you may wear a mask if you choose to, but
right now there's a lot. It's all optional.
Yeah. So in schools too. Those things that you don't even think about, healthcare and all that stuff that I cannot imagine the logistics for the World Cup in terms of being ready for injury.
Mm-hmm.
We are well positioned because we have hospitals in this area,
Yep.
a number of hospitals,
Yeah.
in case of anything, not injury to players, but
Yeah.
visitors.
Well, I think one of the things that really helped us win the bid is that our stadium is in a place where it's easily accessible to a number of things. It's close to Center City.
Yeah.
It's close to the airport, close to all the highways. You think of somewhere, now Boston ended up getting it, but Boston Stadium's like 30 minutes outside of the city. We talked about, New York Stadium being in New Jersey.
They had to go to New Jersey.
Yeah, so, you can have a nice hotel in New York, but then you got to get over to Jersey. At least in Philadelphia, you get a nice hotel in Center City.
You're immediately-
or at the airport, you're right there,
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I do want to say something about
Traffic might be a little difficult.
I do want to say something about soccer
Yeah.
in 2050 or in 2026. Imagine this. Imagine a USA team somehow gets a game in Philadelphia on the 4th of July. Or
Wow.
4th of July weekend. Would that be the craziest?
I guess
If I
now.
was writing a script, I'd make them play England, but I'm not writing a script.
Right. That'd be great.
Just
That'd be
mark this on the video if it actually happens.
madness. Madness. Yeah, unbelievable. But again, that depends on the groups, right? Mm-hmm. So each group has like a city as the hub,
I think that's the way they're going to do it because there's 16 groups of 3.
right?
And I think there's 16 host cities. So I think every city is going to get a group, which would get that city 3 matches,
Right.
and then it goes to a round of 32.
Right.
So this is how I imagine it. I have no insider information on this. I would imagine that those 32 teams, those 16 games, would be split across some of the minor cities. Same thing with the round of 16. I think for us, where we're stationed, I feel pretty good that we may get quarterfinal matches.
Mm-hmm.
Minimally round of 16, but I think we may get quarterfinals. And then I got to imagine the semifinals would be split between, somewhere between LA, New York, and Dallas,
Right.
with either New York or LA getting the final.
Wow.
I think that's how it's going to shake out. But I think New York probably gets the final only because of the time zone thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how close my predictions are.
We'll probably get to see some of the still active younger guys playing, Mbappe
Yeah.
and people like that. I think Messi and Ronaldo are.
They may be done, yeah.
Messi's done.
Yeah, Messi is done,
His
yeah.
cup was the last one,
Yeah.
which he's still celebrating, I'm sure.
We celebrate that till he dies.
Every Argentinian that you meet is like world champions.
Yeah. Hey, listen, they deserve it, right?
Yeah, there's a guy that plays for Manchester City. He's one of the players from the Argentine team. And anytime he scores, the announcer, the Spanish one anyway, says, "Here's another world champion who just scored." Okay, well, those things are, as you say, he will celebrate forever. Those are things that
It's a life event,
they're
right?
going to be unbearable. The Argentinians, if they win another one. Like Brazil. Brazil got 5?
Brazil got 5, yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think is the best player ever?
Ever?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Come on.
I don't
Put you
know.
on the spot.
Are you gonna put me on the spot?
They talk about Pelé a lot.
Yeah, they do. I didn't get to see
obviously.
Pelé play though. So
Pelé, Maradona, Pelé,
yeah. So
Garrincha,
all my, everything I know is modern.
Di Stefano.
Oh, Di Stefano, yeah.
Yeah. But you know who the best is actually? It's Pushka.
Pushka.
And he was Hungarian, I think. He was Hungarian. Unbelievable player.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look him up.
No, I will. I will.
Maybe Puskas. I can't remember right now exactly. But Pelé was for me. Pelé was always the best.
Yeah.
He had all the qualities. He did everything good. Dribbling with the head, the scissor kicks. He did everything. And so for me, he was one of the most complete players.
Did you ever get to see him play in person?
No, I wish.
No.
When he came here to New York, I wish I had seen him.
Yeah.
I saw Messi. I saw actually a game when, not with Messi, but when the World Cup was here, and I saw one game in Washington.
What, in 96?
Yeah, I saw Italy and Mexico maybe, and then I saw Argentina and some other team. I don't remember the other team. So 2 games I saw. For the Argentina one, I traveled up to the Meadowlands, and for the Mexico one was in D.C.
Okay.
So those are still venues that are.
Yeah.
What was amazing about Qatar was how they built those venues.
Now they got to do something with it.
What are they going to do?
I don't know. But I mean, you hear these stories of like, you know, FIFA coming in, World Cup coming in, and they build these structures and then they become vacant.
Yeah.
You know, I think in Russia they had that problem.
Russia, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know.
At least Qatar has a lot of money.
That's when they got to hand them over to Parks and Rec and let us take care of it.
Good luck. Another stat from that World Cup. For the first time ever, countries from 5 different continents qualified for the knockout stage, with Morocco becoming the first ever African or Arab nation to make it as far as the semifinals. They had an amazing
They had a
team.
nice run. How about Japan?
How about Japan? Yeah, that's another one. 3.4 million spectators with that small country. What is the population? Qatar, I don't even know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, and audience figures for Qatar were just amazing. 5.9 billion, 262 billion cumulative reach, 93.6 million posts across all platforms. So like all kinds of records for that. So let's hope, you know.
I mean, it'll be much bigger here.
For us, yeah.
Much bigger.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
And it's also like Mexico, Canada, US.
Yeah.
It's not just like.
Imagine what the technology is going to be like in 3 years. Right? Like, you just,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
as quickly as things are moving.
It's funny, for so many years, the only way early on people got information about the World Cup was on the radio. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Or reading the newspaper the next day,
Or
right?
reading the paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
So more about the 250th anniversary in Philly. There was something else. I know there's the soccer thing. I know there's the 4th of July celebration, obviously. There was another event. I can't think of it right now, but it's a very important sort of coincidence of celebrations. You know, I guess it was deliberate to try to get the World Cup.
Oh,
at
without,
that point,
yeah,
you know,
no
that
doubt,
was,
no
you know.
doubt, yeah.
So you were sort of part of that effort to like trying to get it into Philly anyway.
Yeah, I was part of the, part of the bid committee, so to speak. You know, so you go through this process and you do all this paperwork and you send it to FIFA and they come and they do site visits and it's a lot of back and forth. Yeah, I got to do the tour of the suggested practice facilities with a FIFA official. He's actually from the United States. Now he lives in wherever FIFA headquarters is, what's it, in Sweden or Switzerland. And I got to travel Philadelphia with him for a day and show him different locations for possible practice sites. It was.
So name a couple of locations. What did they?
So we looked at. I mean, nothing's been determined yet, but we looked at Penn.
Right.
Right on the expressway there. We looked at retrofitting Drexel's Field. Mm-hmm. What's that, like 45th and Market?
Or the Temple Field?
We looked at retrofitting the Temple Field. Yeah. Here's what's interesting. First of all, they got to be if it's a turf, they got to be turned back to grass.
Right.
Because they only practice on grass. But they ask for it to be relatively secluded so that, like, no one can see into the practice, which is makes it a little bit tricky in Philadelphia, right?
It's tricky here. Yeah.
So, like Penn's got the hospital right over top of it, which I think
But
is
that's
fine.
still
But
private. It's still private. I played at the Temple field when I played for LaSalle a long time ago.
He played on the old field.
In the dark ages, yes.
Yeah, now they got a brand new
The
field.
Cheltenham thing, yeah. Was it Cheltenham? What's up there? I think the old field. I don't remember now. Yeah, but Temple has new facilities everywhere. So that aspect at least is better than it was for Qatar, where we don't have to build from on the sand,
Right, all the stadiums are already set.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of, as you say, retrofitting and upgrading stuff. And I can imagine our stadium. Which of the stadiums? You say the Link?
The Link, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Which they kind of mention as the Link, right?
Right, it'll be the
Marketing.
Philadelphia World Cup site.
What about marketing? Okay. You don't need translators, so.
I got you.
Make sure.
Actually,
yeah.
you'll be happy to hear this,
Yeah.
or maybe not happy because you did teach me Spanish. But yeah, I'm working on becoming fluent in Spanish by the new year.
We should mention the fact that you went to St. Joe's Prep.
Yeah. Yes, I did. St.
But
Joe's
I
Prep.
taught for
Class of 93.
30 some years. It's amazing, all those experiences. St. Joe's, I mean, we had decent teams, soccer teams.
Yeah.
But the North always beat us.
Yeah.
North Catholic
Yeah.
and Doherty and all those schools where there were more sort of European descent kids who played the game.
Yeah.
The prep
Well,
was
and
all-
a much bigger basic kids to
busy
draw from.
population, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the prep was, all coming from-
Cardinal Doherty had like 6,000 students in their prime.
Yeah,
I think we had
the
1,000 at the prep.
The prep had, yeah. Well, when we started, we only had like 800.
Yeah.
So.
Now we win football every year, so it all evened out.
Yeah, I don't care about football. Although they have a decent team. Bill, anything that I have missed that you will mention here, but in terms of all these things all events that are coming to us, because it's going to be, I guess here's another advantage that we have with Comcast being here, and they're such a big part of any communications because they own MSNBC, NBC, and all that. That would help, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I will know a lot more, I think, after the women are done this summer, because it's the Women's World Cup this summer. I think they're in Australia.
It's another one that has grown tremendously.
Yeah.
And they're finally making some money because they're asking for equal pay. So they're probably never going to reach their level of.
They're making
NCAA
progress, so
people
it's
that-
good.
Yeah, it's great. And I saw a couple of games. The U.S. has a great team.
They're
again.
very good. They're very good. So once that's over, I think FIFA can direct all their attention to 2026.
Right.
Then we'll start getting a lot more momentum.
No corruption this time. Nobody because Qatar and Russia got it
I know.
because of
Yeah,
bribery
I think
to
that
all the big guys.
they got rid of all the people that were causing the problems.
Yeah. So we probably have this.
Nobody reached out to me. I'm still driving a Kia.
That's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what also happened as we get closer to 2026 for the World Cup and the celebration, you'll see a lot of organizations come reach out to the city to partner on different things, because they want to be part of the celebration. So we'll have more to talk about down the road for sure.
Sure. But in the meantime, wish you all the best with this Unity Cup and all this stuff that you have to do.
Yeah,
now.
so if you're not busy on Friday, June 2nd,
Friday, June 2nd. Okay.
in the mayor's reception at 1 o'clock, we'll do the draw. I'll send you the invite. You
Okay,
can come draw.
great.
You can see them.
Thank you.
So we'll pull the groups.
Maybe we can send. Can
You can send a camera, yeah.
Yeah, great.
Absolutely. And it'll be fun. You'll get to see, you see behind the scenes a little bit.
It'll be wonderful.
we're gonna give the mayor a gift as his last Unity Cup. And then after the groups
It
are announced, we can
It
get
was one
together.
of his ideas, right?
It was his idea. He just asked me to implement it. But after the draw, we'll have the teams, we'll have the matchups, we'll have the schedule, and I can come back and we can talk about it.
Great. That'll be wonderful.
Yeah. So I'll make sure you get the invite.
Great. But for now, I want to thank you for coming to visit us, finally, after all this time.
I'm back. I'm back,
and,
baby.
And you'll be back again.
Well, now that I get this nice new setup, I will definitely be back.
Okay. And with that, we come to the end of this program. Despide Fernando Méndez en compañía de Salvatore. Estuvimos en Compass, en USALA Media. Dirigió Dylan de Rosato. Hasta la próxima.